All right, we're live, I guess. Hi, live games. Woo!
Games! Where we're going, we don't need games.
Yeah, we do.
Wait, no, that's Back to the Future and roads. I
Yes,
still need roads. You know,
you'll always need roads.
I have some of the time. Yeah, now for clarity, guys, two games got announced. How inconsiderate to announce them today and not earlier in the week. But that's okay. We'll cover the other one a different day. Because games are few and far between, so I want to give them each their love letter. Doesn't mean you can't super chat to force us to talk about both, because you guys have the power, as you know, Stuart. But yeah, both
Yeah, the other
very,
ones.
both very different.
I'll start. Yeah, the other one's called Voyager: Across the Unknown. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about that as well.
Not at all the same, which I'm very fine with. Don't need
Yeah,
two
there's
separate
not.
games.
I can't get much of a read on the Voyager one from that teaser. Like, it looks like there's battle in it. It looks like you have a cutaway of the ship, and it kind of reminds me of Trexels. Do you remember that game Trexels?
I do.
Kind of reminded me of that with the cutaway. Like, can you organize the rooms in your Intrepid class? But it's not your Intrepid class, it's Voyager. So I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about that on Monday. We'll do a live on Monday about that one. So yeah. But today we're talking about Star Trek Infected. Dun dun
Mm-hmm.
dun.
Mm-hmm. 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 It could slash would slash is gonna be crazy. Maybe.
All of the things he just said. We're gonna go through the trailer, look at the details and things, and although just right off the hop, I gotta say it reminded me a lot of the Strange New Worlds zombie episode because there's like you can throw this thing that grows grass or grain, which is what they had it growing in the lab in that episode. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay.
You, and you can read the details about it on the screen in the one screenshot. It tells you what it
Ooh.
does. Yeah. So I wonder if it ties into that somehow because I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna start sharing.
Yes.
Well, I'll talk to you all in a minute. And even if you're not necessarily into the games,
This is the
I do want people to acknowledge and support them with comments and go find this trailer on a platform, whatever, because I think we want more games. Like, even if I can't play this necessarily, I will buy it in a platform that like a Steam, so I could play it, right? So I have the access to it at least, because these
mm,
things are worth supporting. We need to show that Trek has some level of life to get more, because we remember the heyday of Trek games, and they had some amazing games, and that heyday has not been around for a very long time. I'd love to get some semblance of it back, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Especially as you can make sort of simpler games quicker now than you could then. Somewhat, right? But yes, I will start sharing. I'll see you guys in a minute. Back to you, Stuart.
Back to me. That's me. Yes, guys, he's going to share, and I'm going to tell you guys to hit that like button. Don't forget to do all the things you need to do. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button, notifications, so you don't miss anything. Consider joining the channel. There's a join button down there on YouTube, or you can head on over to Patreon/Trekyards to join us over there on a monthly basis. It all helps us out immensely. But one of the best things you can do is super chat in or PayPal in to us during these lives. Super chat, you get your name popped up in colors and lights, and it's awesome, and we read them all. And same with PayPal. If you want to send in a PayPal, we'd appreciate that because we get a little bit bigger cut of that. YouTube doesn't scrape off the top. So you can PayPal us at trekyards@hotmail.com at any time and let us know what you're thinking. We will read those as well. So yeah, interactivity, part of the community, chatting in the regular chat, doing all those things. Do them. It's in order. Also, don't forget there are links down below in the description of every video to the Teespring and TeePublic store. You can grab yourself some Trekyards merch or just other merch in general, and clicking those links helps us out as well. So anything you can do, please do. We appreciate it, and we look forward to you supporting the channel in any way you can. Just being here, sharing it around, just putting a super thanks on an older video, anything like that, all helps us out immensely. But honestly, just being here and be part of the chat and the community also means a lot. So a lot of ways to support and help us out. So, anywho's, what Sam's done sharing, we'll get into this. And I was excited to see this. And the more I watch it, the more I'm kind of like, I don't know exactly how I feel about it. I have they just need to remaster a lot of the old games that people really liked. That'd be amazing. But new games are also very good. And to get two announcements, I guess this one was announced yesterday apparently, and the Voyager one was literally like 2 hours ago. um, I'm fine with it, and I think that these have been in development for a while. It's a shame we don't hear about these sooner, but I guess if it fails, then we'll be disappointed. So, like Secret of Vulcan Fury, everyone remembers that. Really great trailer, some cinematics, the original voice cast, whole promotion thing with a cereal brand where you could win a PC, you could win a copy of the game. The game never got made, never got finished. We had clips, we had trailers. It was great.
And I'm back.
Hope, hopefully that's not the case with these ones. You never left.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
some.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, what you thinking? First game. Did I get to send you the link, or was it?
Yes, you did.
Yes, for both of them, or not quite?
Yeah, for both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely cool to be set in this era, and in VR as well. This is VR. Unfortunately, it looks like it's only MetaQuest VR and Steam VR, no PlayStation 5 or anything like that, which not a huge deal, honestly. I need to get a MetaQuest or something sometime soon anyway, so you know. Yeah, like Sam said, even if I can't play it right away, I will be getting it so that I can make sure that I play it in the future. So, yeah. But it was exciting to see for sure.
Now, I don't know if you want to try and call me back, Stuart, because your frame rate is, 3.
Oh, everything's perfect on this end, but I will do that.
Thanks.
Bye.
Hi. Yeah, I thought that would just work itself out. It did not. But yeah, let us know what you guys think of this new trailer. And if you are the production team behind this trailer, hello, howdy. Joseph, yes, Star Trek. Oh gosh, something about the galaxy. It's a Voyager game. All right, let's see. Let's start a poll. For a Star Trek video game, does it being VR make a difference? Yes, I'm excited for VR. I don't have, so I can't play. I would play. So don't. And I'll do one that reflects my thing. Wait for Stuart to come back. Yeah. Yes, across the unknown, exactly. All right. Bill, no, we didn't mention it has Easter egg. It was found after we did all our content, and it's not particularly interesting, at least in my opinion. Like, it's some, but it's just, wasn't worth a whole video, etc. for its 1 secondness. But that's okay. Let's see. Is he back with all the frames or no?
Nothing I can do about it if I'm not, so might as well just sit here and enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, also, buggy and weird. That's odd. Oh well. You will have a slideshow of Stuart Foley today, but that's okay. Even while just a slideshow, he's a king amongst men. Right, back to you, Stuart. So we're scrolling through the trailer right now. What was your first reaction, apart from funny era? Was it excitement, or obviously we didn't know these were coming at all, but was it Was it an excitement or a mediocreness or anything in between?
It's mediocreness
Okay.
because it doesn't look like gameplay I'm going to really enjoy. Because
Ah.
it's not like Elite Force really. I don't mind the first person stuff. Looks like there's no short starship battles.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to walk around in a Defiant class is cool, but there better be a free roam mode where you can actually do that instead of just the linear game mode experience. So I'm excited, but I'm not because it looks like other games we've gotten before, like the Fallen and stuff, which were fine, but the graphics were not the best. This doesn't have, looks like it has the best graphics overall, but it's VR. So VR never translates well to a captured image. It's being in the space. It feels so much different and better.
Such a great
And you
point. Yeah.
and you freeze frame that, and it's like, well, that looks like all right, I guess. So yeah, even video doesn't really do it justice. Like you have to be in the VR for it to really look good.
And there's such a salient point. This thing is a literal in your in your eyes, in your brain experience. So of course, watching a two-dimensional version of it isn't going to resonate. Part of the joy of a VR experience is to be in the space, is to see and feel the real scale. So yeah, that's a super fair point. Now graphics, I think, are the biggest thing that people are talking about. Of the mild sense of not good enough. Yes, of course, some VR games can look exceptional. Half-Life Alex being an example, but that had unlimited Valve money and Legacy of Half-Life. I don't know if you'd agree with this, Stuart. Nice. I don't know if you agree with me, Stuart. And say if you do. I would rather have more games quicker at a lower graphic level like this than one game every 3 years that looks photoreal, amazing, that has to get more money to be success. How do you feel? 'Cause I'd rather have more of these personally.
That's a good question, and I don't know the answer to that. Like, yes, I would like more, but if it's all just more subpar shit, I don't know. I'd rather have high quality, really good ones. But to keep the branding out there and keep, sales coming in for new Star Trek video games, I think is important. So
Because
yeah,
I
that's
think,
kind of a
because I,
mixed bag for me.
because I think this is totally acceptable graphics level. Maybe not so much the alien stuff, because of course we have no frame of reference, but to walk around many like the lower detail the set is, the quicker it's to produce, which means the more they can do, which means the bigger they can do in the time. So
Mhm.
if that means walking through the Defiant, walking through the walking through the Voyager, and they don't need to put 2 million polygons, um, I'm fine with that because getting one of these a year would be superb. Not all zombie things, but this company, because certainly in Trek, assets are reusable, right? Like the phase of tricorders, there's only once you build them for an era, boom, you're locked in. Especially if VR has a certain level of quality. So I'm
Mhm.
interested because if sales do very well, then bam. And
Yeah,
Matthew says Resurgence looked pretty nice, not modern, but pretty nice. It depends on your machine, of course. Um,
yeah. You go back and replay Resurgence again, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, but this opening part with the Defiant, well, it's not the Defiant, it's a Defiant class, the USS Lumen.
Mm-hmm.
This just looks like the opening cinematic, if I'm honest, coming into the shuttle bay as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think there's a lot of cinematic stuff in here at the beginning for sure, even the hallway.
Mm.
But
Well, I just
mm,
want to address. Shut this up. Matthew Fridas says, if I'm paying 60 to 70 for it, better be great. Games at this graphics level used to be like 30. You say that, but comparative, like if this is, let's say, a 5.5 on graphics compared to a 10 nowadays, then the comparative 5 to a 10 20 years ago would look much, much, much worse, right? So, yeah, those would be, therefore, $30, but the time to create a 5 out of 10 graphics 20 years ago is so quick. This would not be quick. So I see what you mean, but I'd rather have a good, well
yeah,
made, clever experience where the graphics isn't the main and
and you
be
gotta
60.
yeah, you gotta remember too, this is VR. So it's a
Yeah,
complete 3D environment. It's not like a on the rails linear kind of
yeah,
2D experience.
yeah.
So
Um, but yeah, so my
now
overall thoughts was King finally. I was genuinely shocked to see Defiant. And given the Voyager we just got, to see two of the other shows be finally represented was so nice. You know, Resurgence was lovely. We need more things like Resurgence. But to see somebody decide this other show, this other ship design has some legs. It's not just a JJ one, because that has the most brand recognition. Yeah, sure. It's not just Discovery, where it's like, okay, whatever, take it or leave it. And it's not just a bridge simulator, right? Which is just the Connie and the D. Great, but this is such a sidestep to what you'd expect, which makes it even more interesting. Because if, for example, they built the entire Defiant class in 3D for this, and because obviously repeated elements, like if they mapped it out, 'cause it's not a big ship, you could do it, then that's super exciting. To walk from one part of the Defiant to the other, all the different rooms, like that is such a fun concept to me just by itself. And you add a zombie infected game where you're playing a Vulcan, that's all interesting curveballs I wouldn't have expected. That it's certainly interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I just hope there's a free roam mode where you can explore the ship like not damaged.
yeah.
That would be great. Or even just be able to go anywhere and not be locked into going to specific rooms.
I mean, Resurgence, they added that in a patch after.
Yes.
I would assume so, because yeah, I mean it sold me far more in it before the infection took over, right? I'm less excited to walk through a haunted house where there's moss growing everything than just the Defiant. So I'm hoping that the game will have both, as in it gets more infected the further you go, so you get the fun of seeing one version and then the other. Like I would assume, like Resurgence a little bit, you board the Defiant, you take a tour, and then things go wrong, right? You get both. And I would assume, yeah, I mean, it's such an easy thing to do, free roam, relatively speaking, but it's all extra, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I wouldn't mind like if there's DLCs and stuff later, kind of like Bridge Crew, where you had the original Bridge Crew, which had the Aegis and the TOS Enterprise, and then they came out with the next generation DLC, which had the Galaxy class and a few more missions. That'd be cool. But again, that's a perfect example of a game that could have had so much more potential and was
Yeah.
just dropped by, I don't know if it's developers or what the situation was, but
Yeah, loads of bullshit things is the answer to that.
yeah. Speaking of, I played that last night again for the first time in like maybe a year or more. I don't even know when the last time I played was and streamed it. It was really fun. It's good to get back into it.
Lets you live in Trek.
Yeah.
Surreal. Now the other thing I noticed straight away, and I'm of the two, the Voyager one impressed me more with its visual fidelity of like accuracy, but that's just because this one focused on new things, right? The Starbase looks fine, but the Defiant was pretty subpar. What do you think? Because that's the hero, but obviously a VR game about the inside doesn't need to spend 30k making a beautiful outside. It's going to be seen only in a few shots. But how do you feel? Because we are the ship guys, and there's the outside.
Uh, the outside doesn't wow me, if I'm honest, but I don't think you're going to see the outside at all. It's just going to be for the opening or maybe one or two cinematics. But I would assume that the shuttle bay we go into is not on the Lumen, because that's not how the shuttle bay on the class of ship is. But honestly, the hallway looked fantastic in cinematic mode. But going through some of I mean, the rooms look overall pretty good. I hate that they're all disheveled and ripped up. I hope there's a immaculate version that we can see at some point. But what was the actual question?
What do you think of the exterior 3D model? Because that's sort of the first thing you see. You know.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's fantastically great. There's something about the finish on it that is just not. It seems plastic and toy-like. It doesn't have a lot of the detail that I think it really should have. But again, like I said, I don't think you're going to see the exterior much at all. Like one or two cinematics, maybe. But for a cinematic, I'd expect better quality than that.
Yeah, it's odd given the Star Trek Online model's better. There are other models accessible in the community of licensed things, and obviously you want to make it yourself, I guess. But there are better ones, and you know, I think the shapes. Well, it's a very easy ship to build, and there are lots of reference shots. I mean, certainly Eagle Moss, you know, they did renders for everything, right? That's all accessible to these companies if they asked, right? So the shapes are pretty good, but obviously they're not going to be super pleased with this in terms of like being detailed. It's low detail. You're right, very plastic looking. Why are they missing the back greebly chiller grill purple things? It's just a flat space. There's no pulse phasers. The colors are off.
The proportions all seem off too, and the shapes.
They're
Just
mostly there, but yeah,
yeah,
it's more the texturing because then there's no scale. Everything just kind of feels the wrong thing. Yeah, it's definitely feels like from Whoa, ooh, okay, okay. How much trying to bet the one from Star Trek Legacy is better or worse? Because that was pride itself on the visual graphics at the time, but that's what 2006.
Legacy will probably be better than this, which is sad. But I don't. This isn't a ship-based game. Like you're on the ship. That's it. It's
Yes.
not like there's going to get exterior ship battles and stuff, which I think they would have taken more time.
Yeah.
But
So it's definitely subpar, but I can't imagine them going for very par. But things once you get in the shuttle bay, I'm
yeah,
absolutely fine with the shuttle bay, right? Good detail. The shuttle looks great, right? That shuttle, well, not like hyper detailed, great proportions, great detailing. You've got some nice interactive lighting. It looks like with the under thing. Definitely a shuttle bay from a starbase. Good with that. But this reassured me, right? Because that detail level to pick that shuttle, awesome. It gets no love ever. Like we built one because I was like, we need one. We need to show the fans this exists, and it's so nice to see. Because it was used I think 3 times in DS9, and one was like a super small thing, and then abandoned for Chaffee the other 2 times. It's a great shuttle. It's boring, but in a good way.
I was going to say it's not the best design, but yeah, it's not meant to be super sleek or anything like that.
So it's nice to
It's
see.
unique. It's unique.
Yeah, well, it feels like a genuine, as just Chaffee, a genuine companion piece of Defiant. They feel the same, like not lineage, but you know, same design team. I can see the parallels. But what's the fact they have that almost assures me in my brain that we're going to be piloting it. We're going to be like going around the ship with it because that's relatively high fidelity. Obviously, going to look at it in the ship because you're physically moving around the ship. But my assumption is you build that model, you're going to be flying it, and then you've got VR in shuttles. That's exciting, right?
I totally disagree with you on
Ooh.
that. I think it's just a set piece for that shuttle bay. I don't think you're going to be able to access or use the shuttle in any way. Maybe at the end of the game, as to get off the ship that's going to self-destruct. Sure, maybe you're right on that, but
Well,
I don't get that feeling.
yeah, the reason I say that though specifically is because if you were building a starbase shuttle that was easy, you'd build a Type 6, right? It's more blocky, it's easy to build. But if you're a Defiant game and you're going to see this in the Defiant, on the Defiant, around the Defiant, you'd want to build a Defiant shuttle to be referencing the show, right? This wouldn't be on the Starbase logically, it'd be on the Defiant, or the Defiant class. If I say Defiant, I mean Defiant class, I don't mean the Defiant itself. So because of that uniqueness, because this is not the easiest, there's no authors of it, it was never made in 3D, it's a harder one to build than the Type 9. So, or Type 6, sorry. Well, Type 9, both. So I think for that reason, it'll be done. Just for that, honestly.
What is this one? A Type 19 or something?
Oh, God. Sure.
I think it's Type 19. I'm not 100%
I should
sure
look
on
at
that
my
though.
files. I have got it down there, but, oh,
Yeah.
registry. Yeah, anyway. Now, the corridor, I like. It's not exactly high fidelity, but I like the scaling feels about right. Like, it feels like the Defiant, even though it's, you know, not exactly next gen.
Mm-hmm. Repair room, it says above that door.
Oh. Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think this is probably part of the cinematic though. I just have a feeling based on how it looks.
Oh,
But
you mean like the ship is fine pre-game and then bam you wake up and it's starting to be destroyed or whatever and that's the pre-cinematic kind of thing.
well, yeah, this like flashes to like the ship being infected, right? So
Mm.
I think this is probably from maybe a mind meld
Yeah,
vision or something, because we do see mind melding with somebody later, and
fair.
it could be how this all happened. So
Because when it transitions to the, you know, demon, whatever. How'd that
The
feel?
the Upside Down from Stranger Things.
Yes. Yeah.
This is where I kind of went, oh, seriously? Because yeah, that kind of disappointed me. It feels like I said, it feels like the DS9 game, The Fallen. It's got that kind of.
Never played.
I've never played it. Well, that's not true. I have played a few, like an hour of it. Um, it wasn't fantastic, but I watched some game reviews and stuff on it, and I don't know why it gives me that feeling because this isn't representative of anything visually of what's in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Because the effects were obviously much less detailed back then, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just gave me a sense that I'm not going to enjoy the overall mission, especially being in VR with the zombie type infection thing going on. I think there's going to be it's going to rely on a lot of scares and stuff, and I don't want that.
Yes. Raj, is the game single player or multiplayer? Multiplayer is harder to do in VR, and also they'd want to craft the best single player experience, so I'd say single player. Or if it's two player, it's very much, you know, two people very close together in almost more like a corridor shooter, right? Like staying together.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
Oh, and
Dan.
Dan says the Type 18 shuttle pod.
Yeah.
Cool. Ozzy, member for 66 months at the rank of Admiral. It's time for Canada pizza and Canada beer. That sounds really good. Maybe I'll have that later.
There you go.
Speaking of, guys, super chat in. We want to hear your thoughts on this game. Anything you'd like to see in this game? Any games you would personally make yourself? I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts. So super chat in and hit that like button as well, guys.
Yeah, it'd be weird to have no conversations today because you guys force us to talk about what you want us to talk about. That is the power of the super chat. Ha ha ha. Right?
Yeah, and also vote in the poll. 29 votes for a Star Trek video game. Does it mean VR make a difference? Yes, I'm excited for VR. I don't have VR, so I can't play. I would play if no VR, so won't. I will buy it either way. The problem with VR, I mean, Bridge Crew is great because you can play it without the VR. It's not
Yes.
anywhere near as immersive or fun,
Yeah.
but they should have the option to have a non-VR version because some people get motion sick in VR and just
A
literally
lot of
can't
people do.
use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you're cutting out big swaths of potential buyers by making it VR exclusive until the VR technology gets better where it doesn't matter and people won't get sick in that way. But I don't know if there's a non-VR version of it that you can play like Bridge Crew or not, but I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, the problem with that is that part of the sell is the VRness as a distinct experience. And to cut down of VR games non-VR, if all the controls are based around that, it's a lot of retooling. It's possible, but especially if like some puzzles are very like movement focused and pinpoint, you know,
Yeah.
it's if you commit kind of thing. Plus,
I
also
mean,
you get away with lower graphics of VR because, like I said, the immersion. So it would look less nice on a screen than on the full experience. Yeah, it's a swings and roundabouts, right? Swings and roundabouts.
you say that, but Bridge Crew is great for that because you can use your controller still to move your hand to the different buttons. Um, Instead of just using your wand where you can just freely roam your hand around. So there's probably the option to still, I don't know, that would be great to be able to, because like I said, a lot of people hear VR and they just tune right out because they don't
Yep.
own one because they get
I don't
sick
know
or
one.
they can't
Yeah.
or they can't afford it or they haven't bothered with it. So you're really shooting yourself in the foot a little bit by just doing exclusively VR. That's a big selling point for Bridge Crew is like you didn't need VR to play it.
But the difference in that and this sort of game is that you're sitting in chairs. This is a full
Yes.
experience. So what
Yes.
puzzles are entirely revolved on VR, they have to redesign them for non-VR and then change the levels and make two different versions of the game. It's possible, but try and get the game out first, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But also, yeah. And there probably also is, it's likely that whichever VR group and software is aimed at probably either gave them big incentives to go with them or it was pitched to them for something else. So, you know, the Vive wants this exclusive, they'll help make it, whatever, you know, because it does look cool, right? To have a Star Trek VR game like this, it's a cool branding
Hmm.
thing to have. But anyway, so we got The OSA is the Ferrac. Lieutenant
Well, it's
Ferrac.
Lieutenant Ferrick. Yeah.
Alpha Quadrant, Deep Space Station 38 from Southern Intelligence. Okay. Security breach. We got a. So I want to work out what these rooms are. That first one doesn't like a Defiant. Looks like a Starbase set. I feel like I know what the Defiant feels like, and that first room is not Defiant feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it might be that both the Starbase and
Yeah.
the ship are infected, which I'd be fine with, because then you get some Starbase time too, right?
And potentially a planetoid to go down, because that obviously makes sense, right? That's a cool thing to beam in. Oh, imagine beaming in VR. Ooh, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So you go to the planet, bad things happen, you get infected. Because, I mean, obviously I love the fact they've got the TNG grill pattern thing. It's not exactly TNG, but that's the vibe. So it's very classic. But that doesn't feel like Defiant to me. And it's weird to have trees growing out of, So if this is a planetary base, I can get behind this. Because it just feel like a warehouse with some L cars in, right? So I'm going to say that's not Defiant.
Yeah, it feels like a haunted house, like you said, and I think that turned me off a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, the next image, you got a toppled over chair. I mean, this doesn't really feel like Defiant to me either. It's too big a space, really.
Yes. Well, this would take up a
And
lot of physical space in Defiant, yeah.
yeah, and the trees I've noticed all have eyes.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that this organism or whatever would be able to keep an eye on, keep an eye on you, literally, or multiple. Yeah.
Because this is, I mean, space is important, and games do tend to need bigger spaces. But in VR, it wouldn't feel right to have a bigger space per se, because you would sense it, right? So if this is maybe if you look in the further background behind the force fields, it's a more dense set of trees. So I'm gonna guess that this might be a lab researching the things,
Possibly, yeah.
and that's looking into one of the containment areas, and it's gone real bad. Because clearly it's Starfleet, because there's a Starfleet officer on the left with a dolphin phaser, but yeah, the space is just too big. I mean, that almost feels like 2 decks, and the Defiant's only like 5.
Yeah.
You know?
Although there is a MSD on the table that is in fact a Defiant class, so odds are this is on the ship itself. So
Or the Starbase is talking about the ship. Because what would an
I think
MSD?
that's wishful thinking at this point.
But what
I
would
think this is probably on the ship.
But why would you want an MSD in the floor console? Oh,
Well, it's a desk console, first of all. It's
yeah,
a table.
yeah.
And if it's a research lab and you're tracking where this infection has spread in the ship, which is clearly growing through the ship, that would make a lot of sense. So, especially if it was like a pool table, like the engineering of
Yeah,
Galaxy class,
yeah,
with like a big graphic on top. But
yeah. A lot of empty real estate, and doesn't really
it's a
function.
table in a lab, so I mean, you don't really need anything on there.
Yeah. And also, doesn't that chair feel kind of TOS like?
Yeah.
Hence why I think it's a Starbase for a side thing. Then you
Mm.
got first look at Tricorder, which is the Voyager style, which is great, not the Nemesis one. Very apt for the era.
Yeah, and I wasn't a fan of this either, like the beams coming out the top of, and then the grid pattern around you.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not how tricorders work, unless those are laser grids that are, the quarantine field or some shit. But and maybe the blue screen on the tricorder is going to be replaced later with a final graphic for what you're actually seeing, because I don't know. Everything about, not everything, but a few things about this trailer just kind of hit me the wrong way, and I don't. Not saying it's bad. I mean, it's probably really good, and I don't know how early this is. That being said, this did say it's coming out in 2025. We're almost at the end of 2025, so it's not like we have to wait till 2027 for this or anything silly. It'll be sooner than later.
Yeah, makes sense. Holiday, Christmas gift. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. Yeah, I mean, as with any VR game, you will need graphics to help fill in what you can't see or do. Just like in Bridge Crew, when you put your hand over a thing, you see things flying for what things do you want in TOS. So I'm assuming this is purely just HUD, right, for the tricorder, which I assume you could turn off as well. But yeah, I assume this is just pure graphics, not literal. That'd be... I could not see it as being logical if it was literal. Unless it hacked into the hollow emitters of the space, but that'd be a bit weird. But then so those giant tubes, like those pipes in this floor, right? That doesn't feel logical either. That like no Defiant class has giant pipes that go in and out of the floor in a tight curve.
This is the Kelvinverse version. That's it's for the brewery.
Man. Yeah. Then we have a black box or something.
Yeah.
With a logo on top that is... Oh, is that is that Mirror Cardassian? No, it's just something. I don't know. Can't tell.
Yeah, it's too hard to see.
Oh.
This feels like it's supposed to be like the bowels of the ship, like lower decks of engineering, but it just doesn't. I don't see the Defiant having this kind of framework down there.
Well, no, the Defiant is
Could be the Starbase again.
Yeah, the Defiant is so little space that everything would be carefully crafted. Having one pipe go in and out of the floor, and then some girdery things that serve no purpose. Yeah, rings incredibly hollow. So I'm, other places for sure. Gonna give them credit on that.
Yeah. And next we get a console, and it says deployable cover mimics the appearance of the infectious grass found aboard the ship. It grows rapidly, creating a dense barrier. Observations suggest that mutated crew members are unable to detect enemies concealed within the grass, making it an effective tool for evasion and tactical advantage. LE blocks. What is all enemies' vision? Okay. But yeah, typical VR type situation here.
But that's a correct Voyager style hologrid.
Yes,
Which
yes, it is.
Fantastic. See that sort of thing. Just seeing these visuals re-brought back, looks just as hyper advanced as it's meant to. There are no holodecks on Defiant classes. Now this one may be unique, and it's only a small room if that's the case. But yeah, I could see them doing other spaces for sure. Because then you get to have your cake and eat it too, right? You choose the Defiant, bam, that's the main thing. But Starbase is more of a TNG style or whatever, and you get to have a bit more of everything else.
I wonder if this is that repair room that you can just generate different tools, because you got hyperspray, deployable cover, heat emitter, masquerade, paralyzing grenade, and teleport trap.
Yeah, maybe it's the modern version of the Worf buy a present for somebody replimat room, But what was it? Sergeant Montgomery, dear Lord, the more you guys review this with us, the more I'm not a fan. Yes. Yeah, and guys, super chat your thoughts for now. 40 minutes in, not a single one. That ain't good, so be that person.
Metawipe said you can explore the ship with no crew on as you are infected. With no crew on. I mean, great. Let's just have free roam mode.
And then other infected. So they go into a definitely a Defiant space. Hence, they've got the doors. They've got what looks to be. I mean, it looks like the mess hall but bigger. And we did build all these sets, so I do sort of know what they are. But I'm absolutely fine with reusing parts. So that looks like it's the replicator alcoves on the furthest wall. You got the doors, of course, and you have got the pipe structures in the floor in the mess hall, but they're far more structured looking than just in and out.
And this is where your character throws the thing and grows the grass for cover. And this reminded me very much of the Strange New Worlds zombie episode, because this is what the lab looked like. They had the wheat growing inside the lab, and that gives off this exact same vibe. So I don't know if they're going to be linked, because that'd be kind of cool. But I think that's one of the first images that really had me kind of go, oh, seriously? But
yeah, And there is all of the different elements of the mess hall, but if this is meant to be the Defiant mess hall, it is like 3 times as big. So I'm gonna hope it's meant to be the starbase, and I'm actually fine if the starbase is. We haven't seen the starbase yet, right? Like properly, if it's the sort that is Defiant styled. Bit weird, but this is way too big, even though it's got all the prop pieces. So if this is like, because part of the VR is meant to be immersive. As soon as I'm in one room on the Defiant that feels too big, I'm going to be de-immersed, right?
Yeah.
First room. So if this is trying to be the Defiant, then unfortunately you failed. Even if the gameplay needed to be a bigger room, don't pick a Defiant then, right? Don't upscale the ship for your pleasure. Pick a different ship then, right? Or was that a bit too harsh?
No, it's not too harsh. But I have a feeling there's going to be scaling issues regardless. Not as bad, not as egregious as like Star Trek Online, but
Well, that'd be near impossible, wouldn't it?
wow, that's not nice.
I mean, you know.
But yeah, then we get some shots of this infected guy who we Vulcan nerve pinch, and you can actually see his nervous system as we do that, which is interesting. I don't know if it's because you're also infected, because later there's like a thing that comes out of your arm and
So this roughly is the right scale. And it's cool though, if you're a Vulcan, it's certainly kind of unique. Some nerve pinching. I thought the graphics of the way they represented the pinching, the nerve system was really good. I think that's a really interesting way of doing it. My issue with this shot is that if you look at the right, with the nerve pinch shot, you've got the limitation of the tech, because that light is just reflecting on like 6-7 pixels, and you can see the literal segmentation of the pixels of the light, because it's clearly not high enough fidelity to cope with that. And it's like, ooh, it shouldn't look like that. But we'll answer the Defiant again, or a Defiant again.
The next couple shots, we see a phaser with a power bar on top. We got our hand, which has an eye in it, and the thing that shoots out of your palm. And this looks like it's probably the hangar bay.
I do have the hangar bay, and I would say no, but I would say very close. I know where you
Just
say that.
I'm wondering where else there'd be the room this big, and it's not necessarily engineering.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to a unique shell bay, right? It doesn't have to be 1-to-1, but there's definitely, because the hangar bay is obviously quite small and quite contained. The fact that you've got on the left a space to go into, there is no space like that. I also think there's any step ladders down. I'm pretty sure there isn't. But I like the phaser. Nice to see the phaser. Nice to see. I'm trying to find the charge being indicated. Fine with that. Kind of wish it was green.
Yeah.
Small detail, but it'd be nice if the charge indicator was green, not white, because obviously in Trek, green is stun, red is kill. So having white doesn't really serve either purpose.
Yes. And the next image, you got like the thing shooting out of your hand up to the other level, and it looks like a grappler almost because it's like pulling them up.
Yeah, and this is a real destroyed situation.
Yeah,
There's ice, there's fungi, there's all sorts of stuff. And I'm not particularly enthralled
And
by having an alien in my arm.
no, almost looks like there's a hull breach. You can see the stars out on the right hand side there, but I don't think that's the case. Because when you zoom in, when you get pulled in, it still looks like open space out there.
That is odd. Yeah, there are like twinkling bits. But it reminds me of Prototype. I don't know if you've ever played that. It's a very fun game. These sort of abilities, bio abilities. And it's certainly a way of having your character able to interact with the world, the environment uniquely. But I don't play Star Trek games to be an alien power fantasy.
No.
But hopefully it's a very small element of the game. you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess also though for random people, because if you're just appealing to like, if it's acknowledged the Trek fan base is between 30 and 70, right? Majority of fans, not as many 20-year-olds, certainly as less teens, whatever. Then how many 60-year-olds are going to be getting a VR headset? Fractionally, right? So that.
Sergeant Montgomery.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Go
go
ahead.
go.
Sergeant Montgomery says the tree root, whatever, looks like a hand. That's because it is. It's your hand. It like mutates into this. So, sorry.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Not having VR 30 to 70.
Oh yeah. So it makes sense to have a bit more of a non-Trek trying to get
Appeal.
viewers. Yeah, because that's not the demographic that has VR headsets, let alone that will play this. So having a more radical element of being bio, whatever, and infected and have these things is certainly interesting from a gameplay size and might grab people. Just happens in the Trek universe. So I'm fine with that. If you made a VR game of just walking around the TOS Enterprise fighting TOS Klingons, how many 6-year-olds are genuinely going to buy a headset for that? Genuinely going to put 1,000 in to play that, even if it looked cool, right? So I get it. See if they can do both communities is what's key. Next shot is
Sergeant Montgomery throws in $2. So thank you so much. Is it a power button icon on the phaser?
Energy, yes. Power on or off, no.
Yeah.
But that is also, I'm wondering if maybe there's like, because obviously the phaser has, well, it's meant to be the display for what's the setting and the phaser is. And I'd assume the gameplay mechanic is stun or kill. You think that'd be quite important. But I'm wondering if you can toggle on how much charge is left. Because certainly, if you have the idea that these infected take so much power to kill or even stun, that even though it's still in the universe of a phaser can do lots and lots of stuff, it runs out. So I wonder if it's like you do generally get 400 shots or 300, 200, whatever. You have to keep checking because at some point it will die and you've got to find a new phaser. So a survival mechanic in its own way.
Yeah. And next shot, we got what looks like alien beings on the right hand side there, kind of wispy, weird scarecrow type things. Because we see them in the next shot too. You just shot with both of our hands out, and there's a being in front. By the looks of it. It's like interdimensional beings or something silly that it's going to be.
And you got a giant room, which does have a defined esque door, but this is a giant space. I mean,
yeah.
Woof. And it is, I'm going to be honest, brutally basic. Like, I take no art design from this in terms of Trek lore, right? Like, you only saw so many sets in every show, so each one has a purpose. This, to me, feels like an open space on a starbase where people just conjugate and walk through. Which, in fairness, might be what it is, but there's nothing happening here. Except the fact they've got some giant alien stuff happening, which is, pretty takeovery. But I would not look at this and say, "Oh, it's a Star Trek game." Nothing about this unless I literally see the fact that the doors have got a side panel, which I know is a defined. Nothing here says Star Trek apart from that one.
I was gonna say that door alcove does, but yeah. Now that we could be looking at this all wrong. Could be the USS Lumen is the ship you arrive on. You beam over to the starbase to solve this mystery. So you're on the starbase the entire time. Because that's almost the vibe I'm getting now. And maybe eventually your ship gets infected, but where's the rest of your crew if that's the case? Like,
you know what? That is way smarter. Because then you could have unlimited spaces, especially if the starbase looks very big. Yeah, that makes way more sense. You appear, but then like something throughout the story, your ship gets infected, makes sense, and then you've got to backtrack to it. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Yep, down with that.
Yeah, even the next room is huge as well, and it's
an
odd shape.
See, that looks like a computer core to me. With all the
I thought computer core or bar. Almost looks like the backdrop for a bar, but it's not.
But like you can tell how big it is because you can see the scale of the floor panels, which are also not undefined as far as I know. It's still carpeted, right? So it makes sense if it was a starbase. But I'm fine with the defined style starbase. I mean, like, that's okay. Be weird, but sure. But yeah, alien and wispy life forms. They're deliberately not shown, because you can see it, but it blends in so much with the environment that it doesn't stand out. Right?
Yeah.
But it would give more a haunted house vibe if you do. Oh, can you imagine if it actually is, as you express, the Defiant itself is only infected at a certain point, but for the whole story, you beam aboard the station, knowing knowing that's a home base, and then you get those radical, okay, we're fine, okay, we're not fine, etc., and then bam, and in the end, we are not fine on the Defiant. Will be kind of fun because it'd be really fun to, like I said, a beam in VR, and that's a common plot, a thread in the piece. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yes, it would. I'm just gonna. Dan suggested to just read the thing on the Meta VR, and I'm going to do that actually because it's pretty interesting. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. A VR full body narrative survival experience set in the Star Trek universe. You're a Vulcan Starfleet officer sent on a special mission aboard the USS Lumen, but something has gone horribly wrong. There's no crew in sight, and an unknown entity has infested the ship. Now it's inside your body, physically mutating you, unlocking dangerous new abilities at the cost of your sanity. Explore the USS Lumen, withstand or embrace the infection inside you. Confront the darkness within the ship and your mind. Tend to your VR body. Inhabit a full body avatar. Use your medical tricorder to track your condition, treating your infection with a hyperspray or embracing its mutations. You can fight it off or use the powers of it. Meld with dangerous DNA. Manage or exploit your mutation side effects to unlock powerful but unstable abilities. Face horrors in your mind. You're a Vulcan, rational, disciplined, in control, but your sanity and resolve are faltering. Something aboard is learning your fears and using them against you. There's only 2 more little bullet points here. So set phasers to stun and scan for life. Use your phaser, stealth, or Vulcan nerve pinch to deal with threats. Use your tricorder to scan for dangers and uncover vital resources. Get your hands dirty. Use the VR hands to interact with the ship, crafting tools and weapons essential for survival. Yeah. Reading that just made me less interested because it's a survival game. Just with the Star Trek skin. There's nothing specifically Star Trek about it.
Well, you play as a Vulcan. That's unique to Star Trek.
Sure.
You're in the universe at Star Trek. I mean, it's a bit rude to say that much. Like, you're playing a Vulcan. You're not just some guy, and undefined.
I know, but these visuals could just be a standard horror game.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Every game needs variety, right? They're not all going to be the Defiant with tentacles. That would be boring. Not even for being Trek or not Trek, right? There's going to be a variety. But speaking of variety, Stuart, this on the screen cover I've got on the live, is that a TNG uniform I see? Because he's not a First Contact one. And if that, if they give us multi-year uniforms, I am down with that. I mean, his collar has a wrong amount of red, but what else could it be if not TNG uniform? Which would be great.
There's also pips there that I see, but they're on the wrong side.
Oh, it's TNG, but he's got a Voyager comm badge. Which is fine, means they exist at the same time. I do like my mail graphic, that's a really cool graphic.
It is, yeah.
Oh boy, is he in a destroyed area.
Yeah.
It's a real bad time. Yeah, I mean, I'm it has to be a great game for that sort of survival horror to work. But if the story's compelling and not sound like a broken record, but if there's a legacy person in it, they'll help ground it. A la, if this is set during the Dominion War and Miles O'Brien is, on a nearby something, he's doing instructions over the comm, then talking to Miles O'Brien the entire episode would be enough to raise it up a few points,
Yeah. There's something to be said to have a legacy show up for sure, but it's not. I can't honestly see it in this case.
I would be surprised if it's a defined game and they don't have anyone from DS9. I mean, they're not, most of them aren't, regular jobbing actors, a lot of them. So getting Rom, getting Quark, getting Jadzia, they're all going to be affordable. Jonathan Frakes is going to be far more expensive for Resurgence, for as little as he was in that. I could see Quark being in it. We add some teeth. I think that team is relatively affordable, and it would certainly be nice. Obviously, it'd be nice, but it's an easy sell. You would think they'd have included that in this teaser, but as you said earlier, it's a teaser, not a trailer. So imagine that there'd be this is Universal sort of show, don't tell.
Well, this one's a trailer. The Voyager one's a teaser.
Ignore everything I just said. Oh, you're right.
Yes.
Pips are on the wrong side. Oh, guys, fix the pips. Pips are on the upside of the comm badge. Yeah, that's on you guys. That sort of stuff's important. But then you got him in his brain vision, where you've got craziness happening.
Yeah, looks like it's telling the story of what happened. Got
Mm-hmm.
somebody that looks like they're in a brig standing up confronting you.
Cardassian, clearly.
Well, the next image certainly is Cardassian and very ghostly.
Yes. All 4 Cardassians, that's great. That instantly raised it a point in my head. I like a bit of Cardassians.
Wonder if they're responsible for the infection, like they created it.
Very possible.
Yeah.
And certainly, if you look for horror elements, you can make Cardassians look pretty horrific, so that would work. And then, bam, you've got the title card, which is very much like, as I said earlier, the game prototype. Define class, sees Vulcan. And clearly a giant element is that you got the sci-fi abilities, or the organic abilities.
You are Groot. Actually, it's giving off more of a Witchblade vibe.
Oh, I haven't seen that. And it does say Star Trek Infection, the first narrative survival set in the Star Trek universe. That is the Cell, right?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I'm excited, obviously, because I want to walk around a Defiant class ship, but it's not necessarily going to be the experience I would have had in mind for that. So, like, do you get to go to the bridge at some point? I would certainly hope so.
Can't imagine you wouldn't.
Mm.
I'd be shocked beyond belief if you couldn't.
Yeah.
That's the thing. What is this game showing? It's showing gameplay and vibe. But we could have done with more core elements. Like seeing the Trekkie stuff, right? Start with the Trekkie verse and then go from there.
Yeah.
Also, I think you're finally back, Stuart. I think you're now in real time.
Yay.
Hey, Stuart's back. Hi, Stuart. Welcome.
Hi.
Oh, anyway, again. Well, I saw you for a sec. Oh, I'm so excited to see you for a second. Well, we tried.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
Sorry.
It's fine. It's not important, probably. Oh yeah, this seems to have just this trailer seems to have just laid out the whole storyline. You arrive at a place, you get it's just the progression of this right up to the vision of the mind meld. It's just it's telling the story in a linear fashion. It's just I don't know how I feel about that. Surprise me. I want to see other shit in trailers.
Well, and if it's not innately exciting as is, then right? Like it's exciting that it exists, it's exciting that it's on Defiant class, it's exciting that you get to play Vulcan and play with the toys. But that could be with any story, right? What about this particular story is meant to get us excited? Like what grabs you most about this, or is it literally just what I just outlined, the existence of the Trekkiness in it?
Yeah, that's it. The existence of a new Star Trek game, which is great. Defiant class, nice touch. You know, it's not a Galaxy class. It's not something we've done before. Cool. That being said, everything else about it, the whole horror aspect of it, I'm not a big fan of horror games in general. So it doesn't have me excited in that way for this. I mean, I'm obviously going to play it all through. I'll stream all the
Do
playthroughs.
you have a headset that can do it?
Not currently, but if I get a Meta Quest, I will be able to probably.
Because I was
Um,
looking, because I'm assuming any Steam capable headset can play any other Steam game.
yeah, you just need a Steam one that you can, or a VR one that you can use on your computer. And you can just do this
Yeah,
Steam VR. So
because that is my assumption. And there's so many VR games I would like to try on my computer. It's a very fast PC, but I have no VR headset, and it would be nice.
yeah. So I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna complete it. I'm gonna own it,
Yes.
but I can't say as I'm super excited about it at this moment. I
Mm.
was excited earlier when it's like, "Ooh, new game, cool," and then I watched it and I'm like, it just felt like a generic horror game video game trailer, and I was like, "Oh, for Christ's sakes!" There's nothing unique about it except for those opening couple shots where you see the shuttle bay with the shuttle and stuff, and it's like, "Oh, okay, this is gonna be cool," and then it's just kind of like, that's all you're gonna get is an opening cinematic, maybe one or two other cinematics throughout the game, and then at the end, maybe like your ship leaving or something, or you. But I don't know.
Like it sounds so cynical to say if it showed a Brian or Worf or a Legacy with you, it would have made it better. Because that sounds like all we want from Trek is the old stuff. But that would have been a pop of yes, there's a Brian, or the Defiant shows up to support you near the end, and it's got Worf and Kira because obviously it's CG, right? So they could have not aged. Is that too cynical to say? I'm petty for wanting just that to give it some oomph.
Yes. Not everything has to tie into everything else. I get why you always say that, and like Legacy's great and all, and yes, we're excited to see it, but at a certain point, it's just like not everything can be tied in with other characters, right?
But then you don't have the excitement without that. Like that would have instantly jumped it up because then how would it connect whatever? So what could they have done? What could they have done with this framework to make it better for you? Is the question, right? What to take this up? So it's not heroes, not legacy, it's not things we know. Right. So what in this would have, right? Because
I have no idea. I don't like horror games,
yeah, no, it's fair, it's true.
so I don't know what they could have done except for show me more of
Yeah. So
everything before the infection.
because isn't that sort of in a similar vein, sort of similar? Having legacy characters is not the same member berries as showing the same sets. So they wouldn't, by the same logic, don't just show us sets we know, show us new stuff. Or is that not the same in your mind?
Well,
I'm asking, right? I'm just having the conversation.
we haven't seen a lot of Defiant besides Deep Space Nine. Even then, we didn't see a lot. So to just start off and be like, seeing a corridor and turn a corner and or come from the bridge, I would have wanted to see more of a build up, and then all of a sudden you get the horror element, and it's I don't know, like the first shot of that corridor is great. More of that, please. Entering a different room, something building up this like calmness almost. While people are watching, they're getting calm. Like, look, you can see parts of the Defiant you haven't, or Defiant class you haven't seen before, and then bang. I mean, they kind of do that with the corridor shot, but it's so quick. Because you get the corridor for a second or two, and then you get that flash of the infected part, and then it goes back to the regular, and it's like, okay.
It's almost from that logic, they should it would have been stronger if from that framework for them to show as many sets as possible before and after. Have that transition throughout, so they really celebrate. Oh, we rebuilt this set. Like here is the Defiant,
Yeah.
and then as horror descends, each set gets corrupted. Here's it destroyed.
Yeah.
Here's the
Yeah.
bridge. I mean, that obviously don't show them all, except reveal all the stuff. But yeah.
General Grievous says, "Oof, that shuttle bay is too big for the Defiant." Yes, we know. It's not the Defiant shuttle bay. It's likely the one on the starbase.
And if it isn't, then they've messed up.
Because that's also not how you access. It's from underneath. But
I mean, you can make a custom Defiant with sort of that, but
yeah,
don't. Yeah. I was more excited, when we started. I was expecting to see more subtle things. We do these reviews a lot, and there's normally stuff we can pull out.
yeah,
Don't
me
know if
too.
there's anything we pulled out that wasn't visible, and that's actually kind of like we did the Resolute one for Resurgence. That was crammed, like every other thing was a thing, and this feels oddly lacking in else, right?
Yeah, yeah. I expected to find little nuggets here and there, but there was. I mean, the uniform, the guy that's getting mind melded, maybe, but
Yeah, but they got pips.
oh, yes.
Kevin Scott, is this a spoiler for the game? Anything trailer can't be a spoiler because in the trailer, like definitionally, they are showing it to you, which means it's there. You go. That said, Stuart noticed Zero being different in the trailer, which I'm sure they didn't realize. So he did spoil that for us, but that's actually, clever Stuart.
What did I do? What did I spoil?
In the Prodigy Season 2 trailer, you saw Zero had a different body before it was
Oh,
shown. Just off
yeah.
to the corner. I was like, oh my god, that was great.
Yes.
Clever.
Thought I ruined something in this.
But your enjoyment apparently. But let's end the poll with 49 votes. Easy question, but weird phrasing. For a Star Trek video game, does it being VR make a difference? The winner is I don't have VR, so I can't play. That's about 22 of you can't play it. Yes, excited for VR, 27%. 16% I would play if no VR, so won't. And 8% I'll buy either way. So 36% will play it in some form. And everyone else, don't but would or don't and won't. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Again, sounds so self-serving, but if this was not the Defined, but if part of the game was you go to Deep Space Nine and you just as part of the story you go to Quarks and you get a whole new branching, discussion tree with Armin Shimon as Quark, and you get to walk in VR into Quarks and just that's part of the story, or you flash back to 7DS9 for a little bit in the war, and that would be enough for sell. Like me walking around Deep Space Nine, that would be a big sell point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And on brand. Hard set to build, of course, because that promenade's a big old difficult set. But that would be a thing, getting to walk up the stairs and look out and.
Yeah. I mean, I'm visualizing how long this game will take to play, like from beginning to end. How many hours of gameplay?
Yes.
And it's all going to be the same shit. It's all going to be hiding from zombies with this grass, walking around this derelict ship, probably getting some jump scares. And in VR, that's never fun.
Yeah, that does confuse me a little bit with how diverse can it be with that sort of mechanic. I do see what you mean.
Kind of giving me like Alien Rogue Invasion. I think that's the name of it. It's an alien game that I just got in VR.
Okay.
And you're wandering around dark corridors looking for aliens that pop out of the ceiling and the floors and the grates, and just traumatizing because it's all dark. I don't know. I'm just not looking forward to having that experience again. As much as some people really enjoy that, I'm not the biggest fan of that kind of stuff. So, but
Yeah,
I love the franchise enough that I'm going to play the thing. So,
yeah, yeah. Because you want diversity of style and something to grab me. And yeah, if it's just quote unquote that. Now, if it was a $25 2 hour game, therefore you can't have so much of that because it's a small game. Fair enough, right?
yeah.
But yeah, I mean VR games are always shorter because you it's really hard to craft that much in VR. It just is harder.
Plus, to wear a VR set for more than like
Oh
2 hours is very difficult.
yeah, yeah, 100%. So if that's the logic, fine. But as someone's mentioned, Elite Force, like just remaking Elite Force in VR
Yes, yes,
will be
100%.
a far more insight because that's a hugely both enjoyable game, diverse game, great story. That and I mean the sound files aren't amazing, but bit of AI cleanup. You could retool it a little bit.
It's kind of what I led with. Like, I want to see more of those older games being remastered and redone, and perhaps switch to VR. Some of them. This
Mm,
almost feels like this was a generic horror game, and which
mm,
a lot of people would overlook. A lot of horror fans would probably go for it. But how can we make it unique and get in an audience that normally wouldn't play a horror game? I know.
mm,
Let's make it a Star Trek title.
mm,
It's almost the vibe it's given off to me, especially the visuals of like the arm and the trees, and it just doesn't feel sci-fi Star Trekky. I
mm.
don't know.
And that's the risk of going anything too far outside the brand. You know
Yeah.
that would be practically impossible to do at the time. Have an organic, arm thing, and so instantly pulls you out of the Star Trek. Instantly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
I'd say I'm less excited now that we've talked about it,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, the horror elements kind of had me anyway to go in, so I hope we get another trailer that shows some more stuff. Like,
Yes. Well, no, exactly. It's yeah. It having just said all that is yes. It's how what else is in the game, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking. And what else can you do? Hmm.
I'm on the one shot here. There's a zombie center frame. It's right after he throws the grass thing, and there's something coming down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
It looks like a hole in the hull because you can see stars through it.
Yeah,
Does
but
that mean that it's
you can see stars at
zero?
different time. Oh yeah, no, that's damn.
It
Yeah.
definitely looks like it
Yeah, yeah.
shot up through the hull. So are we wearing a spacesuit during all this? And if so, how does our arm thing work? Like, I'm starting to develop questions.
Which is good. I mean, that's certainly interesting to have. Yeah, I would agree. The way that feels. I mean,
Although those star type things could be spores or sparks or something as well. So
so this is a mess hall variant. Oh, it's huge. The windows on the edge are those little rectangle things that those windows look up. That's the window. Not actually on the define anywhere, but that's what they're meant to be. And
mhm,
so
mhm.
that's the edge of the hull, which means that also could be the edge of the hull. That makes sense. I'm absolutely fine, actually quite interested if there's infection, which maybe get it quite early, or as they say in the material, right? Choose to be infected or choose to fight it. So I'd imagine that if you pick the path where you don't choose to be infected, then you have to find a spacesuit, or you just can't go to certain
Yes.
areas, or you get infected and you have to breathe, which then lets you move in space. I mean, imagine a spacewalk in VR above a Defiant. Well, if that was the case, the Defiant model would be much better because that's not good enough. That is not good enough for that. And then they'd use that asset for the trailer because it looks better, right? Like you can sometimes just tell when things are used more because there's a better version or not a better version because they wouldn't spend the time doing it otherwise. Hence why I think the shroud pod might be in it somewhere.
Mhm. Maybe it'd be nice to have some variety. Like, yes, be able to go on shuttle or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bad feeling that's not the case.
Mm.
The whole time you're going to be stuck on the ship, and it's going to be dark and the ship's going to be demolished and all this like haunted forest type vibe going on. I don't know. Not excited for it, honestly.
It is a more one-dimensional than it looked originally than I thought.
Yeah.
And it'd be fine if like you were on a ship that was controlled. I mean, this is obviously not the story they're going for, but if you're on a ship and the ship was going to different colonies and you can't stop it, and it goes to a Klingon colony and you beam down and there's amazing Klingon architecture, and then you go to a Tholian colony and you see like those sorts of things to pull in, or like I don't want to spoil too much, but the Resurgence game, you got a famous TNG-esque landmark, and that's really cool, right? Linking it and as to show the famous but diversify.
And Captain Wallace FX, yes, we have seen it. We're doing a live about that one on Monday. So hopefully people will be excited about that and join in and, super chat in and want to talk to us about a cool Voyager game, because that'll be cool.
Yeah, but if you guys aren't as interested in games, fair enough. We were interested enough to talk about it. Yeah, give them
breaking news. So yeah.
Yeah, welcome to the community, because they be new. They got the license. They pitched a. Okay, question to you: if this was a straight zombie game, which means they can't modify the hull, but clearly it was more boring in that respect, it was just zombies, would that be more or less exciting, or more or less up your alley? Straight
Still
zombies.
in the Star Trek universe?
This exact trailer, but if there's no bio, it's just zombies.
Yes, because then it's more Elite Force. You're going around killing zombies, or I mean, that's not very Starfleet of you, but I don't like the idea that your arm transforms into this tree branch thing and you can use it to like pull yourself. And I don't know. I don't. And it looks like there's variable paths in this too. Like you can choose to go with the infection or choose to fight the infection. So there's probably some replayability there.
Yeah.
Based on the choices you make. So
yeah, I'd assume so. But then, do you really want to fight the same corridors, the same level of infection?
Nope. Absolutely not. I don't think I would. This would be a one and done for me.
I would assume that, and that would have been actually really good in this trailer if it showed, alternate storyline possibilities. One version, you're going infected, which means your body becomes more infected. You don't get the tech, you get the bio abilities, including spacewalking, phasing through walls, like fun stuff. Or you can go the Starfleet route, where you're fighting it and you get several phases, phaser rifles, bigger kit, right, where you have to go the tech approach, like in an alien game where you play as the alien or the human. If you want to be just a tactical shooter, it's one or the other thing. And then I would obviously go for the Starfleet because I'd wanted the rifles and stuff. I'd want to, get in this army, get a rifle.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be that. Like I would have thought they'd show off more hardware if there was gonna be rifles and stuff. The fact they're only seeing the basics infers to me that they are just the basics. I would think they'd include something like that, like a quick action montage of other things.
Yeah, because usually you get a trailer, it's a slow build up, and then you get like a bunch of like gameplay, and then at the end you get like a lot of flashes of like other stuff in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It feels like this is going to be a very bland kind of room to room zombie game. And not even a zombie game at that. I don't know. It could be possible we get another trailer as well, which cool. I mean, but it's coming out later in 2025. There's not much time left in 2025. I don't think there was a release date mentioned.
It's quite
just
ballsy
like
to say, this year.
Yeah, it's just like add it to your wish list on Meta.
Yeah.
It is mature 17 plus, but that's violent blood and language. Violence, blood, and language. So only a single player. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I would say final super chats, but any starting super chats, as we sort of finalize out the conversation, we'd love to get 5 5s. Let us know what you think. If you want to, if you guys want to rate this out of 10, I'd love to know your scores. It might sound silly, but it gives a really good a technical milestone. So anybody in the chat, all 33 of you, put in your excitement out of 10 for this game, and a comment about why. But yeah, give us a number. Let's get some vibes, guys. Let's get some vibes. It's not a vibe. It's MetaQuest. So
Yeah.
VR track. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think.
For my score, like, I'm excited there's a new Star Trek video game, 2 actually, which is awesome. So like, for just having a Star Trek license out there making games, that's exciting. So cool. As for my personal enjoyment of this trailer and looking forward to this game, it's not very high for me right now. Maybe a 4.5, 5. Like I said, if we know for a fact there was a separate free roaming mode where you could roam around the ship and explore the Defiant at your leisure, that would be amazing. That in itself would be worth getting it, even if you didn't enjoy the game aspect of it, right? So
just skip the game portion of the game.
Well, yeah, some people are into horror. I'm not. So the horror people could play it, and I just go do the free roam stuff. But you probably have to unlock it by playing the whole game, and I'd be fine with that too, because then it's worth revisiting to just explore and look around the Defiant.
And in fairness, you could put on like the easier setting.
Yeah, like story mode.
Yeah, like horrors do scale in difficulty where you're just sort of experiencing it, not necessarily like do I know them? No, but there are people who like, I want to be scared. I want to have the adrenaline. I want to feel the feelings, in which case, a permadeathing or living it in a way that's really, that's exciting for them.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them. That is not me. I mean, I don't think it's going to be easy, because then it takes away any satisfaction I might feel, but, yeah, so score-wise for me, I think certainly an easy win. Had they had any DS9 legacies to help, would have upped it for me. Had they seen any other locations, would have upped it for me instantly. And this also might sound ridiculous, but actually, you tell me. Actually, as I want people to give their scores and final super chats, or any. If part of the game was the infection, like corrupting your brain, and you're flashing back to your past, meaning like it's making you relive horrible events. So like at the Academy in Starfleet headquarters, they rebuild Starfleet Academy, you see it, but now both normal and like upside down, you see yourself as a cadet on a ship, and like almost if the wraparound of story is the infection, but the infection takes you back to previous events, and you get to experience them Starfleet, and then it all goes wrong. So you get to be on a galaxy or a nebula or a nova, and then it goes horrifically wrong. Almost more like an anthology vibe. What do you think on that? Would that have sold you more?
Maybe. I think that's also kind of a cop-out solution to the problem, but I don't know. Like, just being able to access a holodeck in this maybe would be kind of fun. Select a few different environments in free roam mode. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a 6, because I have faith in whoever these people are that they'll do more than what we see. Right?
Okay.
Like, it can't just be this, because that's not enough for a game. But if and when, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Goes back to runtime too. Like, I can't see, a VR game being multiple hours of gameplay. So I think it's going to be a pretty straightforward kind of storyline. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best, as always, but yeah, I'm a little bit more upset now that we've talked about it. I'm looking forward to talking about the Voyager one on Monday. So if you're excited for that, join us on Monday for live. Tomorrow, of course, tomorrow's New Strange New Worlds. So first reaction tomorrow night, and then Friday's review, and then Monday we'll come back and talk about Voyager game.
Crazy.
Which looks better. It looks more like There's some Starfleet or like starship battles and stuff. So
Well, of course, the irony is it does the thing I said. It puts you on places you like, things you like. But also show a lot more variety in gameplay, which does obviously help. And on VR means you can play it anywhere. Which also helps.
yeah,
Alright, so final scores, guys. And, you know, one more super chat would be great.
yes. Somebody super chatted a score.
Yeah, 5 and 6.
And
but full respect for them for picking a ship like this, because they could have gone the easy one and picked the Galaxy or the Discovery. Boy, if this had been the Discovery, I'd have not even said Stuart Still Alive. You know? And that sounds really harsh, but I wouldn't have.
I would think of it based on the trailer, but yeah, it's because it's Discovery. If you had a good trailer that promised something cool.
But I mean this.
Oh, if this exact same thing was in Discovery,
Yes,
oh,
I wouldn't have even. Yeah.
I would have wanted to talk about it just to say how awful it was. You know, the only thing that's keeping it propped up for me right now is the Defiance and some glimpses and hope that there's some cool stuff in there. So yeah, with Discovery, I just would have been like, ah, shit.
So close, but
Yeah.
not. Yeah. Any final
Does it come with,
thoughts?
does it come with a year of Paramount Plus? No, I don't think so.
But it does intrigue me to try and buy a VR headset. Which, you know, the longer you wait, the better they get.
Mhm.
And I've waited quite a long time now, and luckily the same companies have continued to make them, so there is still, you know, improvements. But the first batch are pretty terrible, and now there's quite a lot of good stuff you can get.
Yeah. I've heard that I can actually use my PSVR 2 headset with the computer. I don't know if it needs what it needs, if it's software or adapter,
Yeah.
or what, because it's only a USB-C to plug it into the PlayStation. So might be able to do
That'd be
Steam
cool.
games with that. I haven't tried yet though. So
That'd be cool. So I'm not exactly well off right now, but the MetaQuest 3 for £469, that's what, 590 American, 600 and no, 700 Canadian. It's not too much. Remember when they came out, they were 1,000. And this is the third version with the most memory and in full 4K.
Yeah.
Which you'd need. Although, bit of a lie that, well, not a lie. It says 4K resolution, hashtag or asterisk, 2 displays of 2K each. Totals 4K. Oh, so it's not. It's 2K.
Yep. It's like active matrix and passive matrix 3D glasses.
Well, I just mean, for me, the assumption is it's 4K per screen because you're looking at in each screen, the unique screens. It's fine, it's 2K
Yeah.
each, but like that would be the cell, not. It's not a 4K.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like the passive and active matrix glasses. The ones you get in the theater split up the resolution into each eye, so each eye gets half. Whereas the active ones that I have that are powered gives you the full resolution in each eye, so it's a much better 3D. They're a pain in the ass. I mean, powered glasses for 3D,
Yep. But that is what you. With all the tech.
Just sign up for it, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got some scores: 4, 3, 5. That's it. You guys are just not excited about this game. Is it just because it's of our talk? Is it because you don't like horror? Is it just? I mean, 26 people. We got the same amount of people you usually do for stuff like this. Huh.
Sergeant Montgomery, my friend bought the VR headset and it made him link everything to a Meta account, so he sent it back. This is very intrusive. Yeah, I'm not interested in that personally.
I really don't give a shit if it makes me link everything or not. I don't. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I assume they mean like it overrides other accounts. Like you have to link. I don't know. Something more intrusive, like he says, than just linking. It's linking plus picking that over other things. I would assume. Don't know. Don't know.
Don't know. Well, anyway, guys, join us for our content tomorrow, Friday, weekend. Make sure you're subscribed. Come back on Monday for a talk about the Voyager game, which should be more lively, I hope.
Voyager be Voyagering.
I'll probably be more excited to talk about that one.
It's pretty. They suck at the simmer ship stuff.
Yeah. So.
Dark ship stuff. Yeah, and just episode change was no idea what's happening. The teaser showed me nothing. The images, so I've no clue.
I didn't even look at it.
Just people talking in rooms. No idea, which is good. No idea. As in surprising.
Excited.
Hopefully, maybe. I don't know.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching.
Mm-hmm.
Until next time.
Mm-hmm.
He's Commander Cockings.
He's Foley.